Good morning. If everyone will please rise, join us, look to your right. The American Legion is going to raise our national colors. Thank you. Please take your seats, if you have one. It's a little warm out here, so I promise to keep my remarks to 30 minutes. And that was our magnificent Dobbins Bennett High School band. Let's give them a round of applause. Mr. Leif Cook. I also wanted to thank, isn't quite a tribute to the American Legion that they are raising our nation's colors. As we leave Legion Pool and move to this magnificent facility, let's say thank you to the American Legion again. So good morning, Kingsport.
Good morning.
There you go. What a beautiful day. My name is Miles Burdine. I work for your Kingsport Chamber of Commerce. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you to today's ribbon cutting. As I look out in the audience, I see so many familiar faces and so many smiles. I'm reminded of one who's not with us today, who we lost yesterday, and I ask that all of you all remember, and Mr. Ed Moore, who we lost yesterday. But I promise you, Ed Moore is upstairs smiling and enjoying what he's seeing down here today, and that is an effort to make Kingsport better, an effort among friends, a collaboration, all the things that he believed in. So Ed may not be with us in body, but he is with us in spirit. We miss you, Ed. Chris McCart, when he asked me to come up and MC this a few weeks ago, I said, well, sure, you must have known that I was a member of the Kingsport Barracudas, that I was a former swimmer. And he said, no, I didn't remember that. And I said, well, do you want me to bring my Speedo? And he said, no, we're actually trying to attract families, not scare them away. So I agree with you, Chris. Welcome to today's ribbon cutting of the Kingsport YMCA and the Kingsport Aquatic Center, which is a perfect example of how we get things done in Kingsport: collaboration, cooperation, just doing what has to be done in order to make something positive happen for Kingsport. This facility is going to benefit everyone in Kingsport, and it's going to benefit those who are not in Kingsport yet. It's going to benefit our youth, who we hope to attract back someday. This facility is absolutely magnificent. Those of you who've been inside probably will join me in saying that as you walk in, it literally brings tears to your eyes. It's been 18 years since we've been talking about this facility, and today it's going to be open. Now, Since I work for your Kingsport Chamber of Commerce, I'm involved every day in recruiting businesses and recruiting people to come to Kingsport. And folks, this is a game changer. This is one of those things that when people look at Kingsport and all the attractive things that we've got going on, this is one of those things that will put us over the top when we're trying to recruit new businesses and people to come to Kingsport. In fact, last year, as our Move to Kingsport program, led by Mr. Jeff Fleming, spent hours recruiting people for Eastman, recruiting people for Domtar, recruiting doctors for our hospitals. Invariably, they would ask many questions about Kingsport. They always want to know about our education. They talk about our wonderful climate. They talk about our friendliest people. But they always ask, where's your YMCA? Well, now we've not only got a YMCA, we've got an amazing aquatic center that we can show up as a recruiting people. And here to talk a little bit more about what's going on, to thank a few people who have been involved, is the mayor of the city of Kingsport, Mr. Dennis Phillips, who under his leadership has led such projects as the Academic Village, downtown revitalization, the redevelopment of a Cavacor property where our offices are now located with Kingsport City Schools, new retail, the farmers market, John Adams Elementary School. Our property values are up. Our taxes are down. I'd like to say welcome and thank you very much to the mayor of the city of Kingsport, Mr. Dennis Phillips.
And I'd like to tell you that we did all that without spending any money or borrowing any money. Right, Valerie? Let me, first of all, you always have to thank all the elected officials because you don't do a lot of things without help from everywhere from Washington to Nashville. And let me recognize that our own Kingsport Board of Mayor and Aldermen, if you would raise your hands, Sullivan County Mayor Godsey and all the Sullivan County Commissioners here, the Kingsport School Board, Sullivan County School Board, our state representatives, our state senators, U.S. Congressman's office, representatives from Johnson City and Bristol. Thank you all for being here. This is truly a great, great event. And it's a, you know, it's a great event when I have to read notes that I was given to make a speech and to say anything about it. So if I seem a little nervous, I am. You know, there's a lot of people here. This is a great, great facility that I was talking to Frank Brewer yesterday, who has done such a wonderful job, and Frank said, you know, people come in here and I think they expect to see a little pool. And he said it's unbelievable to see the look on people's face when they walk in and see this aquatic center. It is more than a pool. It is actually the largest quality of life project around here. It's certainly the largest that we have undertaken. And this is years and years in the making. And the good thing about it is that it provides a means for health, fitness, family fun, not only for our residents and their families, but it provides it for all of our neighborhoods. This is a tourism place. We hope tourists come here. When tourists come here, they spend money. When they stay in our hotels or motels, they spend money. They eat in our restaurants. And we hope that this does a job that we hope it will and think it will of promoting tourism in our city. As you can see behind me, what was once a vision has finally become reality. To some of us on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, it seems like we've been working on it 10 or 15 years. But believe it or not, this went from completion in a much shorter period of time, and we owe a lot of people a lot of things. Anyone that had to do with the construction, when we started this, we gave, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen gave the staff instructions. There will be no cost overruns. They were no cost overruns, and that's unheard of in a construction project. But sometimes it's how you explain it to people. And I think the Board of Mayor and Aldermen explained this very well. Swimmers of all ages and all skill levels can swim here. We have an indoor Olympic-sized pool. We have a heated therapy pool, which can be used for fitness classes. There's something for everyone. I think most of you have been there, of all ages. You can teach infants at 1 year old at swimming lessons, and 96-year-old mothers can get in the pool also. It's handicapped equipped. You know, I could go on and on about this, and I think you can sense the excitement that we have about it. But let me just continue by saying, next Saturday, May the 25th at 10 a.m., we will host a public grand opening for the outdoor portion, which is a whole nother chapter. The outdoor portion is I guess we're not going to open it because it's been a little cool, and we needed a couple of more weeks to get the final touches on it. But that's going to be a marvelous facility, and we encourage everyone in Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol, Crossville, Cookville, spend your Memorial Day weekend at the Aquatic Center. Some people that I really need to thank that made this happen, that have supported us financially, and this would not be possible without private donations. And the Hostum Medical Group has sponsored our Olympic-sized pool and the indoor facility. Thanks to Hostum Medical Group for doing that. The Commerce Center Foundation has sponsored the warm water pool. Eastman Credit Union is a sponsor of the Lazy River, and that's one that's been talked about. Lee and Marilyn Davis for establishing the Friends of the Aquatic Center Fund to provide financial assistance to children to take swimming lessons. Today, one of the first questions I ask is, how are the poor kids in Kingsport going to get to this pool? Are you going to run buses? Are you going to make it available? And the answer is yes. If you truly need financial assistance, you will be able to use this aquatic center, yes. And we will be running buses to get you here. A special thank you to the president of the Eastman Foundation and representing Eastman Chemical Company, David Golden, for the land, for the donation. Thank you for all you all did. As you can see, that anything that we do takes a lot of support, and our business and industry are so important. And it's, before they leave, thank them personally, because you can never thank the land. And the foundation made a substantial donation, and then it just goes. Success, as you know, breeds more success. Let me shut up and do a special recognition. If I could ask Alderman Yo, you know Alderman Yo is pretty lucky because she's not running for re-election. And if she would join me up here, hat and all. Whatever money we spend on this and other projects have been because of her, since she's not rerunning. Valerie continues to remind us that she is the first, most famous, best, and I can go on and on, lifeguard that's ever been in Kingsport. And we hear that often at board meetings. So we wanted to do a special recognition that states, whereas she started at age 18 in 1906 as head lifeguard at Legion Pool at $1.26 per hour and served for 3 years. She taught swimming lessons to 100 kids per hour every morning, 5 days a week, and served as lifeguard in the afternoons. She obtained her training as water safety instructor at the aquatic school in Tryon, North Carolina. She taught for 16 years at private pools for $10 an hour. She taught one child in a single day, and she taught a boy with 12 toes. She saved her daughter Jenny from her own pool in a formal gown. She saved daughter Colette while teaching lessons when the babysitter wasn't watching her. And Colette hasn't stopped talking yet, has she? She taught an entire class of special needs children, and she taught more than 9,000 children to swim. Therefore, be it resolved, Valerie Edwards-Joe is awarded the status of permanent honorary lifeguard for the Kingsport Aquatic Center. And we have a nice plaque and picture to recognize, and it's you.
Oh, my word. You got me sitting in the sun.
Snow.
I wish I looked like that now.
You do?
Thank you.
Thank you. We do appreciate all Valerie's help, and we're going to miss her on the board, and I guess I want to say I hope we're going to miss her. We all have opposition, so we don't know who'll be back in too long. So if I'm back, I'm going to miss you.
I want to remind Valerie that one of her swimmers that she taught swimming lessons to was me. That's right.
Your whole family.
That's right, my whole family. That's just a few years ago, too. Thank you, Mayor. And next on the agenda is the city manager for the city of Kingsport, a man who takes visions and dreams and turns them into reality. A man who told me when we were building this facility, it will be something that will go beyond anyone's expectations, and he fulfilled that promise. Please join me in welcoming Mr. John Campbell.
Thank you very much, Miles, for the opportunity to be a participant. It's a great honor for me to be here with all of you as participants in this great facility in Kingsport's history. Before I make a few comments, best I can determine, I was learning swimming at the same time. I'm older than Miles, obviously, but I also was in the period at the same time Valerie was and getting my first swim lessons too. So yeah, probably so. I want to thank a few people today, but a couple comments first. First, I want to say thank you to not only the present board members that participated in this decision, but all board members in the past that have participated in this particular decision. This is a great example of tremendous public discussion and debate over a major decision, and I can assure you we had a lot of public discussion and debate over this issue. We actually had some reanalysis several times, but I think everybody will agree in the end it was a great process and it worked out fine. So I appreciate very much all the present and past board members as their participants. Let's give them a big hand. Just a few comments without being redundant. I think one of the great aspects of this facility is the fact it's multi-generational. We had great participation by our senior community or mature adult community. They were very active from the very first, wanted to be part of the whole, not try to do something separate. And I really appreciate the efforts they've gotten. And sometimes you look at a facility like this and you think about youth and children, but in this case, we've truly built something for all ages and all. I'm very proud of that. Also, the fact that it's year-round opportunities. Something that you can't have in just an outdoor facility, but we've got not only the year-round opportunities, but also the fact that we open up so many hours through the week, and of course about 360 days a year, so a lot of time to accommodate the many lifestyles that are out there, the hard-working people, great opportunities for different times to come and participate. Well, we are very proud of the fact that we have probably the best competitive venue east of Knoxville. We really built it more to be a case of being flexible and having plenty of capacity. And that's one thing you'll see inside the facility. And while you look at an Olympic pool, we knew there probably wouldn't be more than 2 or 3 long course meets. But at the same time, we saw the advantages of having the ability to have 3 different pools and 3 different activities at one time in that particular facility. So I think the flexibility of the facility is something we're very proud of. I think the mayor alluded to, but it's something that's even stronger than people realize, is the great synergy that's created with this facility and Meadowview, the golf course, Bays Mountain, something that really attracts not only people from the region, but also many events. I think Andy would tell you we've had a number of conference meeting planners already said, what can we plan to be in this facility as part of our agenda at that time? So it really enhances our opportunities at Meadowview. I would like to take some time to talk about some very specific people that were involved. And this includes our construction and design team. First of all, our planning and GIS staff. I haven't seen Jeff, I'm sure he's here somewhere, but we looked at over 25 different sites in town to try to decide what's the best place to be. And they did a tremendous job, and we of course have a great geographic information system staff, so I really appreciate their efforts. Our architectural team, Lowson Associates, they were actually chosen. I've never seen so much competition for an architectural design contest. I think we originally had 20 different firms, and that's a lot. So we appreciate Lowe's very much. Let's give them a big hand for the design. And also, I think they used a local structural engineer by the name of Steve Wilson, Spoden Wilson Engineering. We appreciate his efforts also. Also, somebody that couldn't be available today, Dave Markey. Dave Markey has built up a great reputation in the South and the Midwest for looking at swimming concepts, looking at what is right for a community. And he couldn't be here today, but he actually was a participant back in 2002 in a study and really set the basis. We, of course, brought him back to this particular project, and he evaluated, and then we went forward from there. Also, the construction firm, Denark and Company, and all the subs that worked with them. I don't know where their representative is, but let's say how much we appreciate them. Also, we had some project managers. It was very important to us, like the mayor said, to make sure it came in under budget on time and make sure it was built right. David Mason, project manager from our staff, has done many projects in the city over the last 5 or 6 years. Frank Brewer, many people know Frank for the great job he's done on many projects throughout the city. And I think this was a great project too. We appreciate, Frank, your efforts. Steve Robbins, we were very fortunate in this case that Steve Robbins works for us today, but he was actually the project engineer for a consulting firm when Meadowview was built. So he had a tremendous familiarity with this area, and appreciate all Steve's efforts in this particular case. I think he's back there. We've had one of the things that, of course, was a real challenge is make sure you get the right director. And this was something we got a lot of questions from the board. Are you sure you're going to pay enough? Are you sure you're going to get the right person? And I think Chris and the HR people did a great job in choosing Carrie Matheny. And so far, she's proved out even far better than we ever thought she would be. But we were really pleased to have her here. And finally, Chris McCart. He was our project manager from the staff's team, assistant to the city manager. He probably got tired of all my, what we call orange grams and notes of suggestions and questions, but he's did yeoman work over the last 4 or 5 years in terms of so many meetings. I'm sure he hadn't counted how many meetings, but Chris, we appreciate the great job you've done on this. Finally, I'd just like to say, you realize how significant this is when you think about the fact this will serve this community and the region for the 21st century. And that's about the life of what we had at the previous facility, but this will carry out through this century. Thank you very much.
Playing musical chairs up here. Oh, wait, John, I've got 10 toes. How many do you have? 10. Okay, we're going to figure this out, Valerie. Thank you very, very much, John. Today is also a day when we're going to cut the ribbon. In addition to the Kingsport Aquatic Center, we're going to cut the ribbon on Kingsport YMCA, the YMCA Wellmont Center. And I wanted to bring to the stage here to talk a little bit about that effort, a man who's been working on this for 18 years. 18 years. Now, some of us came and went, but this man's been working on it for 18 years. I saw him a couple of months ago, and I said, it's been 18 years, Mr. Charlie Glass. I said, did you ever think we'd get here? And he turned to me, and he looked at me. He wasn't smiling. And he said, yes. So here we are. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Charlie Glass.
Thanks, Miles. I did think we'd get here, but the last 2 weeks, I've probably had a little more doubts then than the 18 years before that. I got to step away from the mic here for just a second to do this, to pick up my notes, to do this next thing, but I want all of you who have been involved in this in any way, whether it's a contribution, a donation, being on a committee, on a board. And I step over here and count to 3. I want a collective yell. You can vent out, release that energy that you've had for 18 years and let it out, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yeah! We did it! I think there's probably a little more energy than, it's hot out here, I know. But anyway, I want to take a few minutes to say thank you. There's no way that I can thank everybody who's been involved in this over the past years that we've been working on it. But I just want to take a few minutes. I want to add to earlier comments about the design team and the city. We have had a fantastic relationship with the city of Kingsport. Chris McCart has been phenomenal. John mentioned Chris, but I can't tell you how many times this thing would have been railroaded or sidetracked or whatever the word is if it hadn't been for the relationship that we've had with Chris in making this work. And I just want to say thank you again, and all of you say thank you for the work that Chris McCart has put into this. And I second everything that was said about Carrie Matheny being the aquatics director. She's been doing a phenomenal job, and when we realized what a safety mentality she has, it just gave all of us another level of relief. You'll be proud of all that you see there. The design team, I want to add to that, we had some additional people besides the architect and the contractor that we all shared the same design team. Contractor, architect, and we do appreciate all that Lowe's and Denark has done to make this a successful partnership and facility. But we also had Triangle 2 associates who work with YMCAs around the country, were involved and helped us to get the traffic flow and all the things about this facility that make it a YMCA in place. And so we appreciate all of their work. And Rick Blackburn, who is our owner's rep, was critical in helping with the relationship with us and that design team, and we appreciate that, Rick Blackburn. But truly an integral part of that design team and an integral part of YMCA's is volunteers. And we had a building committee chair who has been a part of our design team for 18 years, 17 years. Mark Wilson has been working with me on this project since the beginning. He has been a colleague, he's been a designer, he's been an engineer, he's been a confidant, he has been an architect. He taught me how to do drawings in Visio and in PowerPoint. Matthew laughs at me for drawings that I did in PowerPoint, but I did. Mark, as we're finishing these comments, I want you to come up here and participate with us. So you need to make your way up here. But I'd like everybody to understand how much of a impact Mark Wilson has had on this project, and you need to be proud of that. Over the years, and Miles has mentioned this, 18 years, there have been a lot of people who have been true ambassadors and true parts of this at different stages of its life. And I can't stand up here or address any crowd without thinking of some of those that aren't here with us. We've heard Ed Moore, but also people like Darrell Rice, Barbara Peeler, and Miles' dad, Doyle Burdine, who were truly instrumental in getting this done, and they too are up there smiling and looking at this as we celebrate today. There were other past leaders with the Y that back when Sam Anderson signed the charter back in 1983, 30 years ago, and all through the years from when I was hired, Deb Sugar, and it's great to see Mark here today. Just, I can't tell you all the people that have been involved. I'd like anybody who has served on the Y board over the past 18 years, would you raise your hands? We've got a lot of you here today. It's great to see you here. I've had Y colleagues around the country. We do benchmarking trips, and I derelict and didn't get my ribbon cutting announcements out to all these Y colleagues around the country, but I will guarantee you that they'll be here visiting over the next year or so. But they have been a big help as we've studied other Ys and tried to take the best of what we could find everywhere we went. Roger Moen, you're going to hear from in a minute, has been a true mentor and confidant the last, since the Spirit campaign. Gosh, that's been a long time now. But he has been remarkable in his tenacity and fortitude to get this done, and a great relationship with all the folks involved in the city and all around the community. Flint Gray, as our campaign chair, has also been a true volunteer donor, confidant in everything that we've done to get this, and Flint, I appreciate it. Roger's going to be thanking donors, but I can't stand up here without saying thank you to Sam and Dolores Anderson for all that they've done. And Sam was involved in signing the charter and then in making a tremendous donation to make this happen. And I'm going to let Roger speak about that, but I too have to say thank you to my friends Sam and Dolores Anderson. Wellmont Health System for taking a lead gift and all that they did in getting this YMCA Wellmont Center, and you're going to hear more in a minute. I think we're probably backwards because I was going to follow up Roger with these comments, so I'm going to leave that to Roger. We've had tremendous number of donors to make this work. I would encourage you to stop by and look at the donor wall in the lobby and see who all those people are. If you'd like to be on there, we can still get your name on it. My wife, Tina, is here somewhere, put up with me for 18 years and continues to do so, and I have to thank you, Tina, for doing that as you continue to do it. But now, the last couple weeks, we have had a phenomenal group of volunteers. Some of them are out here, some of them are inside. They're in the blue shirts. We could not have opened these doors without the volunteers that we've had, and I'd like to give a round of applause to those volunteers. They've made it happen. Our Y staff, I have a tremendous opportunity to work with some of the best Y staff in the country. They're all dressed in purple here. Most of them are dressed in purple. But I hope you'll take a moment to get to meet them and to see some of the energy, enthusiasm, and share in the caring spirit that these folks have for the people they work with. And I just want to give them a round of applause and thank them for all that they do for me. I have to tell you that the vision of our leaders from 30 years ago, back when Sam Anderson and several others signed that first charter, remains today. And that's to improve community health, make an impact on the lives of youth and families, and stand as an advocate for social responsibility in our community. That's what we do. This phenomenal facility, and this truly is a phenomenal facility. I've told many people, when you take the breadth of scope from the water park out there to all that the Y has in here, you're not going to find a complex like this anywhere in the country. I'm on it. I'm telling you, you won't. It's phenomenal. People are truly amazed at this. But in spite of that, what this does, it allows us to have impact in the community. This isn't the end game. This is a tool. This is what we're all about, is the impact that's going to occur inside these walls. This building, along with the aquatic center that goes with it, provides us an opportunity to expand our impact. We've been doing it for 30 years with after school and day camp. It will increase our ability to provide people of all ages opportunities to be safe, to be welcome, to have fun, and to be strengthened in spirit, mind, and body. What a great way to celebrate our 30th anniversary. 30 years. It's truly exciting. But it is truly more exciting to carry out that original vision through our cause and our mission. It's the impact and relationships that occur when Y staff connect with kids and families and Y members. It's the impact that occurs daily in the lives of those who come here. It's all the kids that are going to learn how to swim. It's the child that is going to be alive in the future because they learn how to swim here. That's what this is all about. With this new modern facility, we're offering our same welcoming and caring culture that we've been doing for years and our quality programming to an expanded audience to improve their quality of life regardless of gender, race, income, or background. Financial assistance is available and everyone is welcome at the Y. So today and throughout this weekend, as you walk through here, as you visit this place, we want you to just enjoy it, absorb the facility, but do so thinking about all those kids and families that are going to be here and what can happen in their lives. Thank you.
Did you tell them to cheer like that? Next on the agenda, we have Mr. Roger Moen, who's the president of the YMCA right now. Before Roger retired several years ago, he called the United Way, he called the YMCA, he called the Kingsport Chamber of Commerce and said, I'm about to retire. I'm going to have some time on my hands. I want to give it back to our community. And I think he took one day off before he started serving on these boards. And folks, I'll tell you, if you want something done, if you want somebody who won't take no for an answer, if you want someone who looks at speed obstacles as only speed bumps in the road to success, you should include Roger Moen. Please join me in welcoming him to the
Did I have you warmed up yet? I just think I'm going to give this part up. This will only be brief. First of all, I do have the privilege to be the current chair of the YMCA, and I did a little fact check. I just want to make sure there's no confusion around this. The Y has been here for 30 years. We have not been raising money for 30 years. We've been raising money since 1996. I did a fact check on that. This is the longest capital drive of any YMCA in the country. I made that up, but I bet you it's probably right. And we appreciate the over 500 donors that have stayed with us, the patience to see this beautiful facility, and also the kids and the families and the seniors that'll be able to utilize it. Without them, it wouldn't be here today. All the building that you're going to see today, all the bricks, all the mortar, was built by the donations from those 500 donors, and we thank them. I'd like to point out 3 specific donors today that really got us started. The Wellmont Foundation, Wellmont Health System. Representing Wellmont today is Todd Norris. He's in charge of the foundation. We'd like to thank him for their generous donation. We also have Eastman Chemical Company, who not only gave a generous donation, but obviously donated the land which the Y sits on. We'd like to thank Eastman and all the Eastman employees for their generous donation. Today we have David Golden representing them as Chief Legal Counsel, and David Woodmansee, who happens to be the Vice Chair, the incoming Chair, not that I'm looking forward to that, at the beginning of the year. Thank you very much. And Charlie did say he couldn't stand up here without saying thank you to Sam and Delois Anderson. As you heard, Sam and Delois Anderson helped sign, or did sign, the original charter 30 years ago. So this is about time, talent, and treasure over 30 years, and also giving the lead pledge for the facility you now see. I asked somebody recently, was this facility worth waiting for? Most of them said yes. Some of them said, I wasn't sure I was going to make it. We'd like to congratulate and thank Sam and Delois Anderson for all their generosity, not only time, talent, and treasure for the YMCA, but all the things they do in our great community. On the right-hand side, as you go into Y, in the next week or so, there'll be a plaque, and that plaque will say, the Sam and Delois Anderson Building, YMCA Wellmont Center. Join me in congratulating them. Last, I would say, if you'd like to volunteer, either here at the facility, at our after-school program, in day camp, on the board, please come and see us. And also, come and join the Y. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger. Well, we're getting close. Look out in the audience, and I know you're hot, so we're going to...
Excuse me?
Yeah. Huh? Yes? Y'all know this guy? Anybody know? This is Mr. Jeff Fleming. I don't know where you went, Jeff.
Give me the microphone. Okay. All right. Thank you. Chris McCart, come up here, buddy. John and Mayor, if you want us up here, please, Steve. Chris, you can hold your bag, but don't look into it yet. 15 years ago, a black-haired, fresh-faced, recent graduate of East Tennessee State University walked into my office, and upon his wife's recommendation, one of the best things I ever did was to offer him a job. And he's still black-haired and fresh-faced, even though he's certainly earned some gray hair and wisdom lines. Chris McCart made a tough decision to leave his ancestral home and move his precious family to Kingsport, and Julie and Sarah Grace are on the front row today, and Josh is at a middle school field trip. But Julie and Sarah Grace, thank you all for being willing to come here. And they've been making an impact ever since. While we're celebrating today, this project wouldn't have been possible without him. Now, we all know that Chris is quite the jokester, but he has a serious side too. He's been the spokesperson, the whipping boy, the advocate, and the defender. He's been on TV as early as 5:30 this morning, and I've chatted with him on the phone as he was driving back over here at 8:30 at night to just make sure everything was okay. All the while, he managed his daily responsibilities admirably. So, Chris, our hope is that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. So as you float down the lazy river, we have a few things for you. All right, so the green first. We've got some lime green flip-flops. And with our recent refocus on employee safety, I must advise that you'll have to buy your own non-skid strips. Number 2, the copper tone. We've got some copper tone sport because we support healthy skin and we want to keep you around for a long time. We've got a sports bottle that says, "We got your back." And since you're a good Baptist, we're going to expect it to be filled with something non-alcoholic, although we understand if we've driven you to drinking. And finally, we've got you some swim trunks. I want you to hold those bad boys up. Yeah. So hold those up. Yeah, let's model them a little bit. There you go. Hold them up. Now, these aren't just any swim trunks. These are special swim trunks. They're the color scheme of the Aquatic Center that he worked so hard to make sure was just right. And since we've seen your white legs, we can only assume the rest of you needs a little help as well. So these swim trunks are tan through. Yes, they are tan through. So your charge is to put this facility to good use, stay slim and trim, so that you can wear these for years to come. And as Shelburne Ferguson would say, we will become what we celebrate. And so today we celebrate your success because it makes all of us successful. Thank you for all you did. You did it, baby.
That was Mr. Kingsport, in case you guys didn't recognize him, Mr. Jeff Fleming. Last week we had a photo contest encouraging Kingsport kids to upload photos demonstrating why they deserve to be the first ones down the water slides at the official grand opening of the outdoor water park attraction next week. Well, we had 2 winners. Grace is already in the Kingsport spirit. Let me tell you what she's doing. She uses her passions for swimming to help others. Last year, she swam 500 yards at a Swim for Them fundraiser and raised $850 for the American Cancer Society in honor of her aunt and her great-grandfather, who are both cancer survivors. So thank you very, very much, Grace. Next is Xavier Grace Hawkins. Xavier, you want to stand up and wave? Xavier Hawkins is a 9-year-old child who has autism, but he's very, very fond of swimming. And he's also got a great haircut. Okay, we're about at the end. I'd like to welcome our elected officials, YMCA representatives, partners, and sponsors to join us up front. We're going to cut a ribbon to the Kingsport Aquatic Center and Kingsport YMCA. If you'll come up front.
Everybody ready to cut? All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.